Just like with anything in the tech world, computers get old. And once things get old, people no longer have a use for them. Well, in this video, we're going to be seeing exactly how bad or good a completely free computer is. Alright, so based off the intro, you should probably be able to tell that this is the computer that I received for free. Excuse my bandage, by the way, I got burnt. But yeah, this is an interesting little system for me, and it's mainly interesting to me because of the slim form factor we have here. And it also has this little door thing for the DVD drive. That's probably an indicator of how old this thing is. Besides the Windows 7 logo, of course. I believe this particular system released around 2010 or somewhere around there, so it's not like insanely old, but it's pretty old for a computer. Aside from the age though, I do actually quite like this design. They have like a little, what appears to be like a light button here. I have no idea what that's for. And this is what I can only assume to be the eject disk button. And here is the power button, which looks like it glows up when it turns on, so that'd be cool to see. You know, it's always fun when you have a little bit of RGB on here. This thing definitely doesn't have RGB. Now, you might be wondering why I haven't shown you the other side yet. That's because it literally just shows the entire specs of the system, and I wanted to put you guys in suspense because that's just fun. But we do have, let me just place this down, all the specs right here. Now, as you can see, these specs are really not much to write home about. I'm actually not too familiar with the CPU and GPU used here, so that's gonna be fun to look at. But as far as I can tell, it's a Windows 7 system with pretty, I guess, normal specs. And while it has such amazing features like easy cable management, HDMI, I believe this little flap here is what they mean by easy cable management, because it has like a thing that can wrap the cables around. So, I mean, that's cool. Overall, this is just kind of a strange little desktop that I'm not really sure what to expect from, mainly because I don't know what sockets in here or what GPU is in here. I don't even think there's a GPU in here, so I'm not really sure if it's integrated or whatever. But let's go ahead and open it up and see the condition of this system. So it's Future Brandon here, and while I'm cleaning up the system, I'm gonna tell you guys about this little gateway system we have, and unfortunately it's pretty bad. The CPU is the Intel Pentium E6700, which released in 2010, and it is on the LGA 775 socket, which is very old. It's a 2-core 2-thread chip, which obviously not great at all, especially for this older socket. But believe it or not, that's actually not the limiting factor for this system. That would actually be the Intel GMA X4500 integrated graphics. Now, I believe this GPU is integrated into the motherboard itself rather than the CPU, so definitely interesting. But the problem is that it's very bad. It makes the GT710 look like a godly GPU in comparison. That's just how bad it is. Now, obviously, I did not anticipate this. I thought it would probably be at least okay for some older 3D games, but it's actually like so bad. And don't you worry, you will see how bad it is. But I just wanted to preface this with that because I had no idea just how bad this little GPU is. Anyways, with all the yapping out of the way, let's continue with the video. Now, it was at this point that I decided to try and actually game on the system, and let's just say it was unfortunately a bit disappointing for me. Oh, this is not performing too well. I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect it to run this poorly. I have underestimated this potato. I'm actually very surprised at how poorly this is running. This is at the lowest settings at the monitor's native resolution. So this is the worst GPU I've ever tested on this channel. Worse than the GT610. Wow. This is a pickle that we're in right now, because I thought I would actually be able to play some of these older games just fine, but I don't think we can. Okay, we're trying something a little different. We're trying the original Resident Evil 4. This is like the HD version, but I have all the settings turned down to the absolute lowest, so it's basically, I guess, the original. Oh God. Okay, well, this is just as bad, if not worse, than New Vegas. Oh my God. I did not realize just how bad this thing was. And here I was thinking I was gonna play all these nice 3D games on this little computer, and I don't think that's possible. All right, we are loaded into some Half-Life 2, and we're barely even reaching 30 FPS right now. Bro, I'm actually like, this is the most terrible 3D performing computer I've seen in a long time. I haven't messed with a computer this low end in a while. And this is at the lowest settings, by the way. It's not even like good settings. It's the lowest. The freaking flashlight takes us from like 45 down to like 32. All right, we're trying more of a simple 2D game. It's Vampire Survivors, and we're still not even hitting 60 right now. Wow. It's definitely playable for this kind of game, but it's not even hitting 60. Like, I don't... Basically, any sort of 3D gaming on this system was a struggle, and even the 2D games weren't quite running as well as I hoped. So I was kind of disappointed, and I was worried that this video would be a disappointment, but then I had an idea. All right, so this is my secret weapon on how to make this system actually somewhat okay in any sort of gaming. This is an R5 240 DDR3 version, and is basically like the GT 710 of AMD GPUs. I got this for free from my good friend Caleb. So technically, it's still a free computer. I'm just adding a free upgrade to the already free computer. So it's fine, guys, right? Okay, I'm in Windows again, and this time I have an actual proper GPU. If you can even call the R5 240 an actual proper GPU, it's still pretty bad. But regardless, it's still a completely free computer, including the GPU, so I'm gonna see how it can game. Okay, we will be starting with Fallout New Vegas, and just as a preface, we will be playing all these games at the 720p resolution. And as for this particular game, it's gonna be the low preset, so yeah, let's see how it does. Okay, we are in Fallout New Vegas, and we're getting a little stutter here and there. I think the CPU is definitely the limiting factor now. So any sort of stutters you see, probably the CPU. But as of right now, we're hovering around the 60 FPS range. Goodbye, dog. Or coyote, I guess. Same difference. It feels pretty decent, I'd say. It's not too bad. The frame pacing feels just a little off, but that could also just be New Vegas jank. And we're actually not stressing the GPU too hard at all, but the CPU is definitely a bit higher in terms of usage. And I can imagine it'll spike even more the more NPCs are on screen. So let's go over here and see how it does. Hello, Pete. How you doing? I think he felt that. But yeah, I mean, this is a dual core CPU, and I guess this game launched around the time where dual core CPUs were still kind of like somewhat normal to have, somewhat common. It wasn't really weird to not have a quad core CPU yet, or whatever we have now, octa-core. So Fallout New Vegas is probably somewhat designed around dual core CPUs. So it's not really a surprise that this game is actually running decent-ish on this system. Although, like I said, I think that probably in more densely populated areas, the CPU would definitely become more of a hindrance on the performance. Now, theoretically, since the GPU is so underutilized, I could up the resolution, but I think I'm just going to keep it at 720p for all this testing, just for consistency and, you know, whatever. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas, not perfect, as you can see. It stutters here and there as you traverse the environments, but it's definitely more than doable, I'd say. Definitely all the way through. You could probably play this game all the way through, no problems. But it is crazy to me that the GPU is being bottlenecked by the CPU, because the GPU is already very, very weak. Anyways, it's a massive improvement compared to before the upgrade, so I'm happy. Okay, next up we have some Resident Evil 4, and we're still at 720p at the lowest settings, but I did up the frame rate cap to 60, so we're gonna see if it can actually handle that. I'm not really sure, and if it can, I'll drop it down to 30. Okay, so we're in the game, but okay, this is weird because we're capped at 30 right now, but the GPU and CPU usage are both below 100%. I'm not really sure what's going on. Okay, I did look it up, and apparently taking it out of full screen brings it back up, but it's still at like 37, and the GPU is at 100% now, or close to that. Okay, this is weird. I'm just gonna bring it down to 30 real quick. Okay, we are back in the game at the 30 FPS mode, and it's running at full speed now, so that's good. Definitely weird performance, but I don't know. I'm gonna blame it on the CPU, even though it's probably not the CPU's fault. Anyways, this is definitely an older game to play, but it's one of the better games I've played in my life. It's one of my favorites, and you could definitely have some fun on here, even though it's at 30 FPS. As long as it's a consistent 30, it should be fine. So we're gonna see how it does as we play the game. It definitely brings me back playing this version of this game, because I've played the remake so much since this game came out, and it's definitely something to get used to because it's totally different, but it's still a lot of fun. Very nostalgic for me, especially playing at this sort of resolution and graphical options. Reminds me of the days where I would play this on the GameCube, so that's fun. Okay, so we made it to a more populated area on this game, and seems like the CPU usage is definitely going up a little bit, which I did expect. You can only do so much with 2 cores, and the GPU is hanging around like 50-ish%, so it's not doing too bad. But yeah, let's shoot some villagers real quick and see how we do. I'm still definitely having some fun here, so I mean, that's good. I do think that this system is perfect for these older type of games, games. Good for a little nostalgia. And I'm definitely having some fun here. So, you know, that's good. It would probably make for a pretty good Windows XP gaming machine as well. I was told that the 710 is pretty good for that because it's so efficient. But yeah, let's go to the next game. Okay, we're back in Half-Life 2, and we're in the same area as we were in that little video I had of me playing this game on the original graphics. And as you can see, we're doing quite a bit better for ourselves here. Now, obviously, we're still at low settings at 720p, and that's a bit aggressive for the system now, in my opinion, but I think we're doing pretty good here. And as you can see, the CPU is definitely still the bottleneck here, but we're getting like over 100 FPS right now, sometimes almost 200, so we're doing pretty good. And oh, we're about to get shot at right now. Hold up. I think most people could play this game on this system, no problems. Hold on, I got crowbar these people. We actually have quite a lot of headroom to up the resolution or graphical settings if you wanted to, but I did want to just show you guys the same settings just to show you how bad, I can't stress this enough, how bad that iGPU was, because this is so much better. But yeah, I think that most people would be able to play through the entirety of Half-Life on a system like this. After all, this system is probably like pretty good for a game like this, considering the release date of this game. Oh god, I ran out of ammo. Gotta crowbar these bastards. But yeah, this has been a pretty good experience. It's basically high refresh rate too at these settings, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I think most people would be fine playing Half-Life 2 on a system like this. Okay, this game is a game I've never played on this channel before, but since I'm testing weaker hardware than usual, I figured it'd be cool to throw in, and that is Killing Floor 2, and we are of course playing at the 720p resolution on the low preset, so let's see how it does. Okay, we are loaded up, and right now we're seeing around the 40-ish FPS range, and honestly the CPU and GPU are both pretty evenly matched, which is cool to see the CPU finally not holding us back, so that's cool. However, with this kind of game, I feel like you kind of need like at least 60 FPS experience. I mean, this is fine, it's playable, and well, there's a stutter right there, but generally I like to have 60 on shooter games like this. But I guess if you have to use it, it's fine, it's playable. I can still shoot Zeds just fine and kind of hit my shots a little bit. It's not too bad, but obviously a nice 60 FPS experience is always a little more preferred. This is a game I've sunk many hours into, so it's definitely one of my favorite games of all time. But for this particular system, I think it's doing decently well at the 720p resolution, and I do think if we lower the resolution a little bit, it would be a better experience, but it's fine. I am actually curious if the RAM is a problem right now, because we are pretty high in RAM usage. We only have 4 to work with, so maybe that's causing some of these stutters too, but it's also probably the CPU. The CPU is pretty underpowered here, unfortunately. Regardless of the performance though, I definitely think that this is playable, and some people have to play the game like this. They have to play at the low settings at a sub 60 FPS, and honestly, we're probably lucky to even have this frame rate right now, because some people probably play at like 20 FPS and deal with it. They don't have any other option. So really, in a way, maybe this is a humbling experience for me. You know, that's cool. So, you know, we had to do it. We're playing some Minecraft, but I am actually worried about this system because Minecraft is notoriously very CPU intensive. So having 2 old cores doesn't give me much hope, but maybe we'll be surprised. As usual, we are playing with Optifine, and we have these settings, and I'm not even going to try any shaders out. That's just out of the question here. It's not going to run well. But yeah, let's see how this little system does in Minecraft. Okay, we are in Minecraft, and let's give it some time. Let's give some time to catch up. The little CPU is working really hard. And we are still at the 720p resolution, so yeah. Now I'm pressing walk right now. I'm pressing W to go forward, and we're definitely stuttering. Oh god, please work. I just want to play some Minecraft. Oh, it's moving out a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be painful as we traverse the world because it has to load in new chunks. It's dropping to the single digits. Yeah, this is not running good at all, bro. I mean, I'm not too surprised. I remember trying to run Minecraft on some old LGA 775 dual-core CPUs, and it was never really a fun time. But we're using Optifine, so it should theoretically be a little better at least. Yeah, it's only smooth if you just stand still and don't walk. It's not very fun. Okay, so I turned on Silent Hill mode, and we're running at 2 render distance, and we're doing 100 FPS. Wow, totally smooth experience, high refresh rate. You know, we can only see 2 feet ahead of us, but that's just the price you pay for esports gaming. But yeah, as you can see, if you want to play Minecraft on the system, it's gonna be a struggle because of just the nature of Minecraft itself. It's spaghetti code, and that combined with the weak sauce CPU we have, unfortunately, just isn't a good combination. So yeah, we're gonna be suffering here. Yeah, even at these settings, it still stutters quite a bit as we walk along. So I don't know. I don't think Minecraft is too enjoyable on this CPU, unfortunately, and it is the CPU's fault. I know for a fact this GPU CPU can handle Minecraft at least decently well. So yeah, unfortunately, Minecraft on this system isn't looking too good, unfortunately. So, in conclusion, how was it to use a free computer for gaming in 2025? Well, it definitely depends on your expectations, of course. The components in this particular system were pretty bad, unfortunately, and without the GPU upgrade that I had, I really do think this would have been quite a disappointing video, unfortunately. Of course, the CPU is pretty damn bad as well. A dual-core CPU from 2010 just isn't the greatest to use in 2025, but it's still a completely free system that someone gave away to me. And there is actually a lot of potential here to do a lot of cool things on it. And that's the beauty of computers. Even when they get old, some people can still find enjoyment in them, whether that's playing through older games or just doing simple web browsing. I do think a lot of these systems that people will give away nowadays still has some use, especially if you just take a little bit of time to upgrade them and make them just a little better. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.
A big thank you to all my channel members that have decided to give me their money and support my channel. I really appreciate that. If it weren't for them, I would not be making these videos. So thank you.